Now, co-investing is a really innovative strategy that people who either don't have all the money or don't even want to go into a project all by themselves are using to still be able to invest in real estate, be able to earn money from real estate, and literally hold real estate like you would hold share units. I don't want to call them shares because that means it may cause some confusion where people are thinking, oh, is it shares that are sold on the stock exchange? No, we're not selling shares on the stock exchange, but we are selling unit shares of property to our cooperative members, and they are starting to use those shares as the ticket for them to be able to earn from real estate projects that we have across the nation. My name is Lerato Lekena-Okoro. I am a realtor and investment broker based in Lagos, Nigeria, and today I'm hoping that you also are going to be able to get some value, and you will be happy enough or delighted enough to be able to share this video to someone else who needs to see it. So let's get straight into the topic. So as I mentioned to you, I am going to be talking through questions that people have sent in, and I have made a few notes about them here so that I can basically just go on from there and pick them and talk through them, as against just trying to pick them off the top of my head to tell you things that I think it is that you should know. I am going to be talking through questions that people have asked about co-investing. The general thing is people's desire to want to know more, and the first thing that people want to be able to understand is whether co-investing is the same as crowdfunding. Now, this is a very interesting question, and I would say it's a very smart one also, because a lot of people have heard about crowdfunding. They've seen crowdfunding work. They've seen crowdfunding projects come up and all of that. However, they want to understand, is that the same thing that we're saying when we use the word co-investing? Now, the simple answer to that is no. No, in the sense that crowdfunding and co-investing are two different things. With co-investing, you're literally a co-owner, which means that you're not expecting us to come and pay you an interest from work that we have done, and we are giving you a share or a part of what it is that the property, in this case, has generated income from. No, what we are doing is that we are helping you, and God knows how many other people that are interested and cannot afford to buy property because of its high cost, to actually put your money together and buy a property. Now, all of you who are co-investors in whatever project it is that you subscribe to will be co-owners of that project. You are the ones who we would be responsible to and liable to when we're going to be making reports, or we're going to be answering questions around what is it that this property is doing, how is it that this property is performing in the market. Like, it is the people who are co-investors that will be expected to come in and ask us those questions. Now, because we've made that process simple, we know that before you even come to ask us those questions, we would be telling you those things because we'll be generating reports. But just to focus on the question that was asked, is crowdfunding and co-investing, are they the same thing? The answer is no. Simply because as a co-investor, you're actually a co-owner. As a crowdfunder, you are an investor in that thing, and you're not necessarily a co-owner. So all you are looking out for is the actual returns that you have been promised. And with co-investing, you're not just going to be looking out for the returns that we are estimating that you could earn when you invest in property, but you're also going to be able to enjoy some of the other benefits, to include value appreciation that generally applies to all property investments that people generally do. Now, the next question that people have asked is, how long can I hold this investment for? Truth be told, that answer is totally up to you and your co-investors. We are here to help ensure that we can hold the property for as long as possible, profitably and sustainably, such that for each year that you are holding the property for, you are able to keep earning money, you're able to keep earning appreciation on it, and at any point in time where we suspect that there is going to be an issue, and by the time we look at the trends and then we're able to say, oh, something may come up or an opportunity may come in, we will then come back to advise you. So think of us like your lawyers, where if we're defending you, we are obligated to always come back and tell you about any deals that the prosecuting party or the other party is thinking to make. We would be having to come back and give you all of that information. We are assuming the role of advising you, of helping you to manage it, because we want to help make it easy and seamless for you without having to deal with all the other people. So if you want to know how long it is that you want to, you can hold it for, the first question that we would like to ask you is, how long term are your investment goals for real estate? How long do you want to be able to keep earning money passively from real estate? How long is it that you want to be able to hold on in the market such that you will be able to optimize the possible value appreciation it is that you can get? If you can answer that question for yourself, then you at least have a better idea of how long it is that you can hold the property for, or the property investment for. For us, our joy would be to see it being held for as long as possible, because we know that the longer it is that people hold on to real estate, that is where you actually see the true value of real estate start to manifest into the society. A typical example would be, let's use the Dangote refineries, for example. He bought that land God knows how many years ago. But at the time that he made the initial investment to buy the land, that is not going to be what the value of the land is today, or the value of that location is today. We all have seen how prices in those areas have gone from A to B to C 2 times 5 times 10, and in some cases, maybe depending on when it was that you invested, maybe even as high as times 20 of what it was that the initial cost was. So think about it like that for co-investing for this type of opportunity, and think of how much is it that your investment today can be worth in 10 years time. Another example would be the opportunity that came up with the Lekki One. When people were buying plots in Lekki One, it was barely ₦1 million, ₦2 million. But today, plots of land in those areas are going for as high as 100 million. So if they had gotten into those type of opportunities asking, how long can I hold it for? Do you think that they would be making the kind of returns that they're making today? I don't think so. I don't know. Tell me if you think that they would have been making those things. Answer in the comments and let's take it on from there. I feel like I've already answered question 3, by expatiating on question 2. Question 3, however, is, what do I stand to benefit or gain by doing this, aside from the cash returns that I'm going to be making? Now, there are 2 things that people who invest successfully in real estate look out for. 1, the value appreciation, and 2 would be the cash returns that they can make. The cash returns would refer to all the money that can be generated from things like rent, leases, and stuff like that. Those are the cash receivables or cash returns that investors are able to get from having that asset because they're putting it to work. Now, the next thing that it is that successful real estate investors actually also look out for and they capitalize on would be the value appreciation. The fact that today this property is worth 20 naira, for example, and in 6 months' time, that 20 naira value is going to be worth 100 naira. So what do you gain as somebody who does co-investing or who goes into co-investing right now? You gain literally the same thing. The fact that you are starting off with a smaller amount of money does not take away the fact that you are eligible to gain or get any of these benefits. And that is the baseline. That is the most important factor that we ensured that we were able to keep in the entire offering, to ensure that people who are coming in to co-invest with us and through the community would still be able to get all of these values. Now, you may come and say, oh, but I cannot go and use this to get a loan. I cannot take my investment here and go and use it to, lay it down as collateral. Yes, you can't do that for yourself personally. However, it can account for your earnings, because from time to time, and this would vary, and I say from time to time because each project would have its own tenure through which it is you will get paid. Some projects would probably have a monthly payment, some projects will have a quarterly payment, some projects would have a yearly payment for dividends and all. So depending on which project it is that you are invested in, your money, your returns that keep coming from there, you can actually project and plan with them and use them as a source of income, because we would literally be paying them out to you with the documentation that shows that that is going to be concurrent. So if you're going to need to have some form of income statement that is showing how much it is that you earn, you can definitely add that in, because you would at least be able to know, okay, this is almost assured money or income that is going to come in because you have been invested here. Okay, so with question 4, I feel like I have, in one way or the other, I shot myself in the foot with that one, but it's fine, because as much as I keep dishing out the things that it is that you should do as a real estate investor, I'm doing this because we all need to be able to be smarter investors. We all need to be able to understand the basics, the theories, the theoreticals, the tips, the requirements for us to be smarter and better real estate investors. Now, question 4 piggies back on one of the content in another video that I did, where I talked about how we should research. And the question was specific like this, to say that, how do I research the options that are given to me, and how do I know that they are actually going to work? Now, the answer to this is not so simple, because if you don't know what it is that you're supposed to research for, then you are going to struggle with being able to find the data for this. But the first way that you can research these opportunities would be to ask the person who's actually offering to you. In this case, it would be us. And if you're looking out with someone or some other person who is doing co-investing, because there are quite a number of us, then please go ahead and ask them for what it is that the opportunities are. Key questions that you can ask them would include, what is the demand in that area? What kind of target market is it that you're looking to serve in the area? Do these people actually seem to need the property? And if you have a data-driven center where you can go to and get data and get numbers for what it is that the property trends or the property demand data would be, then you can go and check that. In Nigeria, the ones that we actually know of 2 that give us such data depending on what it is that we're looking for, and one of them would be Niger Property Center and the other one would be Estate Intel. These 2 platforms are very good with being able to appropriate what data it is that is basically coming in from different sources and use it to show what demand, what opportunities are, what it is that's going on in the market. All would be on Niger Property Center. You can literally just go there and type in property demand rates, and you would see them by state, by location, by demand, whether it is for sale, whether it's for rent, short lets, you would actually see all of these numbers on. This is just to give you an idea of how it is that you can actually start to make inquiries and research around if these opportunities would work. Next up is one of the questions that I personally have heard so many times, and if it didn't make the list of some of the most frequently asked questions, I was going to add it onto the list. And that is the question of, how do I exit? A lot of people who are not sure of, what it is that they're investing in, or they're just thinking, oh, how long can I keep my money? Or how long is it that I can stay? Or if I want to just, exit, if I want to just leave, how easy is it going to be? The understanding is that if you buy a property, then if you want to exit, then you would put the property up for sale and you would sell it and you would move on. With those of us that are in the industry, we know it's not always as fast to sell your properties, but at least you know that at some point in time you will be able to sell it. Now, a similar scenario also is going to have to apply to the unit shares. Now, even though we're dealing with unit shares, a similar process is also going to have to apply. But in this case, we are expecting that the process will not take as long as it should take when people are basically putting on a whole apartment on sale, because the idea is that the property would be profitable. You that are trying to exit would be trying to exit because maybe you need the cash, and it is your investment. And you are going to need to, you may need to cut your losses at that point in time and exit for whatever reason may be. However, we would encourage as many people not to exit, because and we are also going to tie this to the rules or the guidelines for actually being a co-investor, because we need to be able to help, because a big opportunity that we're trying to also build here is the fact that we are going to be able to keep as many people in the property investments for as long as possible. Aside from the fact that we're helping you to invest, we're also going to be trying to change the mindset of not being able to stay in long-term investments for a period of time. And we hope that at least we would be able to make great impact with these mindset changes and these shifts that we're hoping that we can achieve in the society and with the typical regular investor. But if at any point in time you do intend to exit, at least you would have to notify us, and then the process would then be started to put your unit shares on sale. So there you've had our own most frequently asked questions about how co-investing with us works. I have answered the questions from our own perspective, from how our own co-investing opportunity has been built, how it's designed, and how it's going to work for you. Now, the next question that somebody who is considering doing co-investing may want to ask is, how do I use this same co-investing strategy to build my own wealth portfolio over the next few years? And if that is a question that you are asking yourself, then you are totally in luck, because in the next few weeks, we're going to be hosting a free webinar where we would break down how it is that you can make money through co-investing, how it is that you can build a wealth portfolio through co-investing, and how it is that co-investing can work for you to change your financial position over the next few years. Yes, it is not going to be a quick fix to all of your financial problems, but at least you will know that the sacrifices that you're making today to be able to put money away for your co-investments would actually work for you in the nearest future, or even just help to build up a easier future for your kids, as the case may be, so that you also will be able to hand down something to them in terms of a legacy investment that they would say, oh yes, I got this from my parents. So if you're interested, check in the comments below. Or in the caption, you are gonna find the link to register and sign up for the webinar. And when you do, you will get all the information and the dates that the webinar is going to happen, but I promise it's going to be in the next few weeks, so you can actually look forward to this. And when you do sign up, tell a friend that webinar is coming, so that they too can sign up. The more of us that we have making smarter choices for investments, the better and the more it is that the benefits are going to be for all of us to partake of. My name is Lerato Lekena-Okoro, and I have had a pleasing time answering and enlightening about all of the questions that have been sent in to us at various times. I hope that you have too, and I would look out for your questions or your comments, or even just, yes, your comments about further clarifications about any of the questions as I have answered in this episode, or even just another question that you would have and you would like me to be able to answer, either about co-investing or real estate investing as a whole. So till next time, I remain Lerato, your friend and chief co-investor, the one who is advocating for you to make a better life for yourself. But then, adios.